art of closing more sales. And Scott talked to us about making sales a virtuous part of our philosophy. And then yesterday, Cindy showed us the importance of creating our signature program, which is all about the client journey. And Tony demonstrated the importance of having an effective CRM process. And then last night, Eric showed us how writing helps us create a sustainable coaching business. So today in this hot seat, we have the lovely Jess Clair. Hello, Jess.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you, Dawn.
You're welcome. Now, Jess is somebody I'm just getting to know. And I have to say, she's very popular with her blogs. One of them I really enjoyed was how she got her confidence, which I found very honest and inspiring. And there's another funny one where she did some stand-up. Bet you didn't know I was stalking you on Facebook, did you, Jess?
I didn't. I had no idea. No.
So Jess is the CEO and founder of Social Media School, which is a humanity-led business. She's the coach that helps clients change the world while generating lots of money, but not at the expense of being human. Jess spent 18 years in corporate and financial services, working in tech, data, and strategic roles. And she says when she mixed tech, data, and strategy genius with humanity-driven practices, which is the art of moving energy in the body, and shifting a mindset, which is the art of identifying and dealing with limiting beliefs, hey presto, we get the unicorn effect. Simple actions that help us connect deeply with self and others, and gives us the clarity to solve the big problems. And that's what Jess is going to share with us now. How do we connect in a humanity-led way and do sales on social media with our integrity? Jess is delivering a 90-minute masterclass, which will include a Q&A. So please do pop your questions in the chat box and we'll answer as many of them as we can. But before I hand over, as regulars know, I always like to find out something a little bit special, unique, or different about our speakers that may surprise us. And in typical Jess style, this certainly is unique and made me laugh out loud. She said, I'm an ordinary human being, except I have 2 giant middle toes on my feet. I did check, it's on both feet, because obviously it would impact the balance, and they are. So why would you want to share that, Jess, other than people are fascinated with it? So I'd like to hand over to you now, Jess, and invite everybody to pick up their pads and pens as we prepare to learn how to sell ourselves on social media with integrity.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dawn. What a beautiful introduction. It's really, really great. For those of you that are on here, I like this to be as interactive as possible. So it would be very amiss of me to come and talk to you about how to have social media and how to be powerful on social media, and then at the same time bore you to death. So I don't want that. I'd love you to interact. And the best way to interact is via the chat, because we do have such a large group. I'm going to work out how I can see the chat at the same time. I've got a different screen to what I usually do. But if you do have any questions, please put them in as I go. It actually helps with the engagement, and it is something that on social media, it's not a platform where like in a classroom where you're actually just delivering to someone really works. The thing that works about social media is that the audience are just as much as the delivery as you are as the coach or you are as the presenter. So generating engagement and interactive activities on social media are the most important thing, and that's how social media works. So how do you do that with integrity, right? Because out there, what we have out there is a whole lot of people on social media. So you probably have noticed by now, that people have caught on to this idea of social media, and that, you know, there's a lot of coaches. You guys, I'm guessing, are coaches or consultants or facilitators, speakers, whatever it is that you do. You've all noticed that. I would love you to, just so I can get a feel for what your biggest challenge on social media is, I'd love you to make a comment on what is the most perplexing thing about it, particularly when you've got a lot of coaches now online. a lot on social media, and you probably see your peers. You may have even done programs and put yourself in accelerators and incubators and told you need to get out there online, and then you're like, everyone's doing it though. And then it seems overwhelming. So you go, what do I even write? What do I even say? So I would be, very interested to see what your biggest challenge is. Let's have a look. How to stand out. Planning and consistent presence, okay, are the most perplexing issues. I too may possibly need to disappear briefly as the delivery is due at some point today. Oh, okay, that's not a challenge, that's just a communication. Okay, what platforms are the most suitable for coaches? The speed at which things change, confirming, yes, converting from follower to prospect customer, how it works and matches us with prospects, how to be different. Niche. So there's a lot of how to be different, how to niche, generate consistent, stimulating blogs, generating followers, where to start, manage it, keeping it personal. You know, so you see, it's so confusing. You can just hear how many questions there is about it. Where do I start? So yeah, we're going to go through one way in which to start, and I'm going to give you a tool that you can use yourself to get started. And I'm going to go through that with you. The first thing is to be yourself, and I'm going to do that right now because somehow someone has opened the door and my cat has now gotten into my office. So this looks like a studio. So the first thing about being human is owning exactly what's happening without having to pretend that you should have it all handled. So I'm just gonna shut my door.
I've seen this happen in a couple of videos. Jess's cat loves to participate, doesn't she, Jess?
She absolutely does, and I mostly remember to shut the door.
Yeah. And I was saying yesterday, this is the beauty, one of the good things that have come out of lockdown. You know, we don't have to be perfect. We kind of realize that now. Kids come by, animals jump on our lap. It's all good.
And I think it's one of the things where people say, how do you stand out? The thing that has me stand out is that I don't let anything be a problem. It's not a problem that my daughter interrupts me sometimes in the middle of me trying to speak. And I'm sharing something really profound. It's not a problem that we have a life outside of our business. I have a cat. I don't know how she ends up finding her way in here, but sometimes she does. It's not a problem. This is what it is to be human. What it is to be human is to have a life. Your business is an expression of your life. Your life is not your barometer of how good your business is. It's the other way around. So I'm going to go through a little bit of that today. So to get started, I want to talk about humanity-led is an experience. It's not a destination. So I want to talk about how we think that when we're trying to sell, that the destination is somehow we need to make sales. If we make sales, then we are a successful coach or consultant. And then the amount of sales we make will then depend on whether we're a good coach or not. Okay, I'm just making an assertion that somehow money and the destination called selling a lot and having a lot of clients equals some sort of value if you're a great coach or not. Okay, so does anyone if you can put your hands up and use these little things on here, if anyone does know how to, you can. Does anyone resonate with that? Does it feel like that's probably what would make a good coach? Right, so I just want to give you some freedom and say that's got nothing to do with being a good coach, and it's got nothing to do with humanity-led. In fact, the thing that's going to have you stand out is going to be the experience that you're creating for people and the experience that you're creating for yourself as well, not the destination you're trying to get to. So if your destination is to make a difference in the world, as mine is, I want to create 1 million entrepreneurs in a humanity-led business. If I focus on that destination, I will kill off my business. But if I focus on the experience, what would it be? So you can write this down for yourself. What experience would I be creating for my customers or for my clients that would have my destination worthwhile? And I'll tell you what mine is a bit later because it's going to ruin it for you. But I started to curate a process and a sales process. And I started to curate how I could do that. And that's where social media came in. So particularly when COVID sort of came along and took the legs out from everyone and we couldn't interact with people personally, we then had to do things virtually and online. So I start with, this is kind of how we think about a destination. So we got a person, we get them on a call or have some sort of interaction with them, and then we need to sell our services, right? Now, mostly that freaks everyone out because the idea of selling is, well, it would freak you out if you feel as though that's kind of inauthentic or slimy. I'm trying to get someone to buy something off me. I don't know if what I'm selling is great. So, you know, I have to sell. So that's the destination. If we come back to the experience, if you spend time asking yourself, who is this person? What's their name? What sort of identity do they have? What's their marital status? What number of children? What are the ages of their children? Where do they live? What are their work? What income are they on? Now, some people ask themselves that, but the things, what are their goals? What are their values? What are their challenges? What are their pain points? We ask ourselves that. That's building your audience, right? But to be humanity-led is to go, what is important to this human being? What is it that matters that no one else seems to care about for this human being? And that's when you start to create an experience for the people that you work with. Now, the humanity-led experience, or generally, when I say typical sales, I am talking generally here, but in some of the courses that I've been on in sales and some of the way that I've been taught, it's really about sell, 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 results, results, results. And it's like, you just cross out that part where it's what's important to them. You just figure out who they are, and then you try and sell to them as quickly as you can, because once you work out the art of selling, then you can base and how to find the people, you can basically just sell to anyone, right? Except there's like a real human behind that person that you're speaking to, like a real one. And I'm going to say something that, you know, this may seem heavy, but it's just to really get connected. It's not heavy, it's just connected. It's probably similar in the UK, but every single human being is dealing with a lot in their life. There's what we have on social media, our dinner, our kids, and our accomplishments. And then there's our mother-in-law. There's someone in our life that is not well. We all know someone that is either attempted to or has committed suicide. Domestic violence is very high in all countries and Western countries around the world. We have people that are grappling with their confidence. We have people that are concerned about their financial situation. We have people that have all sorts of things going on. Elderly parents, health issues, you name it. Now, we all have a different flavor of this, but what I just labeled, I'm sure I could ask any of you, and you would all have something going on in your life that represents something I just said. So you can take the case that if you allow yourself to get connected to that when you're going out to have a conversation with someone, they're not just a name, an identity, an audience, someone that you, if you figure who they are out, you'll figure out how to sell to. They're like a real human being dealing with real problems. And if you become someone, sorry, this screen is just cutting off for some reason. If you become someone that curates that experience, this is what we call a humanity-led experience, then you become someone that is going to be making a difference to that person just by having a sales call. Now, I know you're coaches, so you got into this work because you want to make a difference. I know that coaches don't just wake up one day and go, gee, I want to learn how to make more money. I hear that coaching is the best way to do that. I know that you did it because something happened in your life and you got really inspired and you went, I want everyone to have this. And what we know is that when you take away, you know, the identity, the age, the location, the annual income, you know, all these other factors, everyone, there's enough research to conclude that everyone wants to be seen, heard, listened to, and wants to belong. So if your sales call become the opportunity to create that experience, what is it that this person cares about that no one seems to listen to? What is it that this person sees in the world and seems to react to and get frustrated because no one's listening to them? What is this person committed to that no one else can see? A sales call becomes the opportunity. What if your attention was that all your sales calls would leave people seen, heard, listened to, and then new opportunities for their business? I mean, that's me, but it could be new opportunities depending on what kind of coach you are. New opportunities for their life, their relationships. So every time you contacted someone or had a call, all you did was have your attention on that. What would that be like going to work and selling? So I'd love if people can put some comments on there. You know, what would that be like as a coach if everything had your intention and your attention on how can I see, hear, listen to, and have this person see new opportunities in their life? I have it down here. Would you ever get weird about sales if that's all you did? Yeah, like making an impact with every interaction. Exactly right. It sounds like the perfect intention for each sales call. That's right. It's good to be on their agenda and not on yours. Absolutely. And here's the Buddhist says intention is everything. So a lovely way to start the conversation. It is. And so values the person. It'd be wonderful. S, it's a connection. It feels more you. Absolutely. Because generally what we're taught is the destination. So we're taught about how to get to the destination, how to 6-figure income, you know, 7-figure coach. The destination always seems to be the place that we're taught. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the destination either. I'm just talking about to reach the destination, it can't be about the destination, right? So I'll just take you back as well. So if this is a space I'm creating here right now. Now, if you think of social media, people hate it. I even got on this call and Dawn said, seems a bit like a necessary evil, doesn't it? Okay. You know, and I was about to say something to her about it because I was always going to bring that up, but it's seen that way. But if social media became not just the opportunity to talk about what we just have to see, hear, listen to, and provide new opportunities, but if it was the tool that had the most power because it reaches the most people and you could see, hear, listen to, and provide opportunities at large, I think people would love it more. It's just not how we currently see it, right? I want you to consider, though, that if you use social media with that intention, you will see the impact that will have on others, even when you see the rest. I think I've put that here. Social media is your virtual shop front. People treat it more like a concert hall, though, where we're all waiting to be let on stage. So you've got everyone's watching going, oh, geez, I wouldn't say that. Oh, dear, I wouldn't have said that. Oh, that's a bit funny. Oh, aren't they supposed to be a leader? I wouldn't say that. That's not very much a leader. What kind of coach is that person? She's arguing with her client, you know, and it's all just everyone in, and we're all sort of in line waiting to go on stage. Whereas if you use this social media as, forget all that, whatever comes into your shop front, your intention here is to see, hear, listen to, and create new opportunities. And it's the only thing that you do on social media. Then wouldn't that be a different experience for you going out and sharing who you are in your business? Yeah, so Mark, really good point. Totally agree. The real challenge is the amount of noise on social media. It just creates perception. There's no value. 100%. So how do you stand out? How do you stand out on social media? Well, there is an exercise that I usually do, and I'm going to do it at the end, just with someone, so I can demonstrate what it looks like. But ultimately, it's being authentic, but not like pretending to be authentic, which is what a lot of people do these days. I think I had someone say to me, you know, you've really nailed life when you can pretend to be authentic, and it's like really, what did he say? You've really nailed life when you've nailed pretending to be authentic, which is just completely the opposite of what it is, right? But ultimately, it's authenticity. But then everyone knows now that authenticity is what everyone wants, and now everyone's like trying hard to be authentic. So how do you be authentic? How do you get authentic online? So I'm going to do an exercise with you guys at the end, or with someone at the end, to demonstrate it. Someone who's very courageous and willing to kind of share what's really going on. But ultimately, it's about going about 10 layers deep, so that you can share what's really there for you. I had the thought, just as I got on here, I had the thought, I'm in my usual territory. I do Zoom, and I've got my little slide pack, and Dawn's come on, and it's all great. And I had this thought, it's all great, it's perfect. Then I couldn't see your names. I'm like, oh, that's going to make me look so bad. Here I am trying to say that I'm some expert in social media, and I can't even get Zoom to work properly. Okay, that's right. That's authentic. It's actually seeing your humanity and watching it want to look good, wanting to stand out and appear to have it all handled, and then noticing just how much, no matter how prepared you are, no matter how much expertise you've got, just noticing how much you don't have it handled, and owning that that is what it is to be human. Having the courage to share those things with your clients, having the courage to say that stuff online, and playing with it. I'm giving you some ideas here, but I'm going to do an actual demonstration of that at the end. Okay, so sharing that. I'm this an amazing coach, and I can't even get, you know, I've had friends and taught friends to go, I'm really good at a really great relationship coach. I've never had a successful one, so I've tried a lot. You know, or I'm a really good business coach. Everyone I've had has failed, so I know what not to do. You know, it's actually being authentic. Everyone I have, like, I've coached people from with millions of dollars down to people who are just starting. None of them have their shit together. Okay, so let that give you the freedom to just express yourself. No one knows what they're doing, and everyone is pretending they do. And some look better at it than others. That's all. So being able to express yourself, your humanity, and get that you're just like everyone else. And it's actually those things that you think, and those sort of like hypocrisies that you express, that's what's really authentic. The want to have your shit together, but the knowing you never will. Okay. And saying that online. Sometimes my clients are killing it far better than me. And I'm like crying before I get on my coaching calls and going, okay, now I have to look like I've got it all handled. You know, that's the part that you start to share that stuff. That's when people take notice. Everyone is craving real human beings right now, right? Yes, please release this need to be perfect, because no one is. Everyone's just pretending they need to be perfect. Okay, so I'll move on. Before and after a call with you, these are things that you can share as well. Before, this is just some ideas for your social media, but also when you start to create these experiences where you are seeing and hearing and listening to people, you can start to share for yourself or see for yourself what happens before someone's on a call with you and what happens after. Before, their business isn't working. After, they have these, at least the opportunity to see their business, the fog is cleared. Even if they don't do work with you, you've made that difference. They feel exhausted, frustrated, burnt out, Groundhog Day. After, they had express without feeling pressure. They feel more understood, seen and heard. Their average day is putting out fires. After a call with you, something else becomes possible. They're stuck, they feel used, alone. After you, they feel a bit freer, they're growing, they're happy, they're proud. You start to share some of that stuff, then you can start to also post about that on social media. So now your sales calls become this opportunity for you to express yourself and see the difference you're making. Predictable future. Without speaking to you in that call, potentially they felt like they were shrinking their business. I'm talking about business coaching here, but their business was becoming unprofitable, business failure. After, there's opportunities that can be taken advantage of, growth, scale, more free time. Now, you can do this depending on what you do as a coach. You can do this for relationships, for life coaching, for whatever it is. When people have a call with you before, you can start to see the difference that you're making, and you want to share about that. You want to share what you see about that. Okay, so again, would you ever get weird about sales? Would you ever get weird about speaking to anyone? Or even more, would you ever get weird about going direct to people in your community if you knew that was the difference that you were going to make just by contacting them? Now, I know I make that sound so easy. I just said everything that I just said, right? I made that sound so super easy. And I really, really do get that you get off this masterclass and you go back into social media and someone writes a comment like, oh, I can't believe you said that. And then immediately it's like, I'm never doing this again. That was a crazy idea. Okay. Right. I know that it sounds like it's really great. And then you're like, yeah, Jess, it sounds like it's really good. But then there's human beings and they kind of do things and say things that kind of take you out. Right. Well, what I'm inviting you to do is every single call you go into, every single time you get on social media, is to create that intention of what experience am I going to create today? Who is this person? Even when you see a nasty comment online on your stuff about you, someone goes in your inbox. I mean, it doesn't, I mean, I don't know if it really does happen, but it's what I find is when I really dig into whether people do get these nasty comments on social media, what I find is it's not necessarily people do write nasty comments on people. They write comments that are kind of loaded and passive, and they have sort of like they're passive aggressive, and then people interpret that as something that's not actually said. No one said you were a loser and you should stop being a coach, right? What they generally say is, that doesn't make any sense, or like, that doesn't make any sense. Can you please explain? Didn't you have a relationship that didn't work? So these comments are made. I highly, I encourage you to still stand in your experience. Hear that person, see that person, even if it's like a really good friend of yours, listen to them. And I'll give you an example. So I had a friend who would write these comments online, and all I did was stand in this and say, I really get that you're very committed to, you know, having the kind of business that you really want. And maybe I haven't given you what you need. Let's talk. And then more comments were made, and then it went into our messenger. And during that messenger, I just listened. You didn't give it, you didn't do this. And there was a whole bunch of things I did and didn't do for this person. And I just listened. And then about a month later, she starts referring clients to me. Now, she never came back on as a client, but what I noticed about that was being someone that stayed really true to my experience of what I'm creating as a coach, being someone that's committed to humanity for me first and then for others. I became the person I really wanted to be for people. Other people didn't have to be that for me. It was just me. So that's what it is to be humanity-led. It's not that other people have to act any way for me. And I know you're coaches, so I know that this stuff resonates with you. It's that I'm this for others. And when I'm that and I'm creating that experience, then my sales match that. Okay, I just want to check. I've given you guys a lot of information. Is there anything anyone else wants to say here? Any questions? Yep. No, so it sounded like someone came off mute, but that was probably just you, Dawn. No? Okay.
I think what I would say is if there are some what we perceive to be unpleasant comments on social media, is just breathe and pause before you respond. Who was it? I think it was Viktor Frankl said that there's a space in between the stimulus and the reaction, and in that space we have the opportunity to choose how we respond, and having an understanding that we have a choice gives us power. So we don't have to engage in the same way. We can step back and be wise.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I give myself 24 hours sometimes. Yeah, because it can really take time. Yeah, there is so much pressure to be just like everyone else on social media, but and trigger our insecurities. Yeah, absolutely. The example I gave you then, as well as of that client, I responded. The response there, I said, maybe I didn't give you what you needed, actually led to someone contacting me wanting to be coached by me as well. Because seeing you be okay with not being perfect, that is the only thing I can put it down to. And owning your own value on social media, which is just a minefield right now of people's comments, thoughts and opinions, and they're just flying around everywhere. They're the things that stand out. So if you want to stand out on social media, allow yourself to look bad, not perfect, be human, and stuff up. Because anyone that's okay with that stands out. Now, that might terrify you, because it does sometimes, but what I'm really saying is that if someone says that you're not doing a great job, you can go, okay, maybe I'm not. Let's have a conversation about it. If someone says, I don't think you're the best coach, maybe I'm not the best coach. What do you think? Like the being able to just be human, not be perfect, not have all the answers. You know, this is what's standing out on social media. This is what I'm calling humanity-led and the authentic responses that are standing out in social media. There's no science to this though. It is an art. It's really about owning who you are. I write my immediate response and then delete it before posting it. Yeah, totally. That's, yeah, you do that too. My instinct is that I want to be different. Everyone does want to be different from everyone else on social media. And the thing that makes you all unique is your own unique self. And it's tapping into that. So I'm going to get into that shortly. Is there anything else? Okay. So if we treat social media the same way as everything that we've just talked about, in terms of connecting to one's humanity, in terms of allowing ourselves and others to be human, going in and setting an intention before we go on social media to potentially use it to sell. If we're using it to see people, hear people, listen to people and create new opportunities for business or whatever it is that you do as a coach, then how would you use it? See, that's, I think it was Alish. I can't remember, even though someone did ask how to say it. Talking about being human, I've just realized my makeup bag was in full view. Right. See, that's human and it stands out, right? It's a case in point, right? Because it's playful. Yeah, really great. These are the little things that you notice about yourself are sometimes the things that you can write. So how would you use that? So your social media is your virtual shopfront. People treat it more like a concert hall. So if we say that it's not like a concert hall, if you imagine this big concert hall and everyone's sort of lined up, and then someone gets on the concert and then says something and everyone's watching and has a thought and opinion about it, and someone walks off and then someone else comes on, which is how it sort of seems to be treated right now. If you think of it as a virtual shopfront, just take away everyone else that's there and it's just you, and then there's everyone that you could serve. So everyone in your concert hall is someone you could serve. Now, if you're in your virtual shopfront, what would you do? Well, you would have a space where you can talk to people personally. You would have what I call, like, you can imagine it's like a home. Like, I like to think of social media is your home. LinkedIn is more like a business, like a workplace, but Facebook is more like a home. And you've in Facebook, you've kind of got some music on and it's a little bit of a party as well. So the vibe of Facebook is very different to LinkedIn. So if you treat your virtual shopfront on LinkedIn like it's a bit more professional and business-like, and then you've got this kind of party, friends, and it's far more social on Facebook. Well, but it's still like a home. You've still got spaces that you take people to talk personally. And regardless of even if you're at work or in a more professional place, or whether you're in a sort of fun party vibe place like Facebook, you still talk to people. If someone walked in your door at home, you wouldn't ignore them and walk away. That's what I say. So why would you not respond to their comment? Right? This may be difficult to hear because so many people get a lot of messages, but I just want you to consider that it is the same. There is an actual human being that is behind that comment that has taken time out to comment on your stuff. And to someone who wants to stand out, for those of you that want to stand out, the actual comment itself takes a bit to write. So when someone's commenting on your stuff, it's a big deal. You don't comment on lots of stuff. You'll notice you don't really do much. I don't. But when someone says something that resonates, it's like they've just walked into your door and gone, hey, I really like that thing. And yet so many coaches, and I see this, so many businesses ignore it. It's like they've just seen that person and walked away. It is like being in a shop where someone doesn't acknowledge you, right? So very, very important that you do acknowledge everyone. You want to stand out. You start to see, hear, engage with people through their comments as much as possible. Same on LinkedIn, a bit different. LinkedIn has a algorithm that people really don't see it as much. So Facebook, people do see things a lot more. But the same, it's like someone walked into your business and said, hello, I like that. And you just kept walking and went to your desk if you don't reply to their comments, right? So very important. And then Messenger is like you've taken them to your room and you're having a coffee, and it's like we're here having a personal conversation. Same in LinkedIn, you've got the personal messages in LinkedIn as well. Except people aren't treating it like that. People are going into these messages and walking in the door, going into someone's room and going, hey, here's my stuff. Would you like to buy it? It's like, it's a bit offensive, or grabbing someone off the street, pulling them into your room and then saying, hey, here's my stuff. Would you like to buy it? That's illegal. That's called harassment. And yet somehow in the coaching or in the online business world, that's been made normal. Right. So I want to tell you that that is not what we're calling humanity-led. Humanity-led is building relationships. You're putting yourself out there on the virtual shop front to say, this is my stuff. You're telling people the difference that you make. You're connected to what you do, how you see, hear, and understand and create opportunities for others. You're telling people about that because you get who you are. You're posting about it. You're doing lives with people, other people about it. And then when people comment on your stuff, you're there engaging with them. And then at some point, they either come to you and go, I really like your stuff. I really like your stuff. And they'll start to they'll come into your room and have that coffee with you in a personal chat. And that is a really beautiful space to acknowledge, right? So that sometimes happens. Or you've put yourself on social media, you're talking about who you are and what you do, and then you have permission to go and invite someone into your room and have a coffee because you've already been doing that. After you've spoken to them, after they've engaged with you on social media, you can reach out to them in Messenger and say, hey, I thought of you for this program that I've got on, and I'd love to have a chat. Very casual, and Facebook is a casual environment. And so they have a chat with you, and then you can tell them honestly about what it is you do and why you think it would be great for them. But unless you've created that environment for them, unless it's been about what you see, hear around people, unless it's who you are and what you're good at, unless you're owning all of that on social media, you don't get permission to go to people in their inbox. If you think about it, everyone that you've ever responded to on social media and that you've probably said, okay, let's have a chat, it's because in some way, they've kind of earned permission to do it. Whether it's because they're friends, because they've built a relationship, or whether they've demonstrated that they've shown so much value or given so much value, you actually feel like you want to be a part of it. So there is no problem inboxing people on social media. It's just the question, have you got permission to do that? And there is no such thing as permission. And we all know this, by friending someone and then sending them something. I would be glad to talk to any business coach that tells you that it's your block. I would be happy to do that. Anyone that tells you it's your block, I've heard that. If you don't do that, they'll tell you it's your block. I mean, I would say, are you seeing, hearing, understanding me right now? Or are you just telling me what to do so my stats go up? Yeah, so I really want to emphasize that. You've got to check you've got permission. So real sales is leadership. When people are being led in a leadership sense, people don't mind being sold to because you do care about them. You are over them and solving their problems. You are giving them value. You are seeing the things that they need and giving them opportunities to solve that. That's leadership. Real sales is leadership. Being a coach is about leadership. Slimy sales is manipulation. It's how do I get that money in your pocket into mine? I'll say whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want. And yep, sure, I'll tell you I'm going to solve any problem you've got. Right. That is just what everyone hates. Everyone hates it. So on every call, every reach out, every response, create a commitment for yourself to be humanity-led about people, right? And leave people better off. So these are the 4 pillars. Leave people better off. Take 2 minutes to set an intention for what experience you want to provide, even if they aren't great with you. Even if they never even if you never sell to them. Make a commitment that everyone gets to be left better off, even if they don't pay you. I mean, what kind of world would that be? If we actually had a world where it wasn't based on if we got money, it was just based on this intention to create a great experience for people. You do want to be clear about your offer, features and benefits. Okay, I haven't gone over much of that today. It is really important. I'm sure that there are different parts of this that Dawn's put together that's gone through offers, features, benefits. Okay, so you do want to be really clear on who you are and what you offer, but don't hold back about your value. Own who you are and what difference you make. But yeah, do the work to be clear and upfront about your intentions. You know, I had one of my best friends who was starting a business and it wasn't going well. And I would speak to her every day. And this day I was like, you know what, I'm going to call her and I'm going to see if she wants to come into my program. So I just called her and said, hey, Jody, this is a sales call. I want you to come and do this program because I want your business to work. And she just laughed and went, okay. Right? I didn't get on the phone and go, hey, how are you? How's the kids? How's life? And then right at the end, throw in some sort of like, oh, I really want you to come to my masterclass just in case it was something that was interesting for you. No, it's like, no, this is what I'm here for. I'm here to transform relationships. I'm here to have businesses work. I'm here to make a difference. Do not hold back about who you are and make it clear up front if that's why you're calling or if that's why you're messaging. And if people say, I'm not interested, honor that. No problem. Yeah. Oh, 20th century marketing, all about push, shouting at customers and slimy selling. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I like the idea that I actually have this vision that all coaches eventually are going to become corporate weapons. So right now we're all on individual virtual sales and we're doing a whole lot of creating educational opportunities and giving people access to different things they wouldn't have in their life. But here's what's going to happen in 10 years. You're all going to be hired as consultants in corporate roles because corporates realize that if they can have coaches in addition to their leadership team in there making a difference and changing lives, that they're going to make more profit. So at some point it's going to shift and it's going to be a critical role for corporate Okay, and I'm seeing some of that now. I'm seeing corporates start to go, oh, coaches are actually really making a difference to people here. Okay, so see that this big opportunity that we've got is coming. So yes, it's all about the value you bring to clients, and the more value you bring to your clients, you'll build movements, not just advocates. You'll build movements of people that they just want to tell people about who you are. So third thing, refer if it's not your domain. So sometimes one of the most valuable things you can do is not sell to people. So that means you have a wide range of people in your community that are adjacent to you. So, you know, I do startup business coaching. I do it for startups and growth. So people that just haven't seemed to be able to like get past a certain point. And then there's people that want to go to 7 and 8 figures, and they want to grow further. And then there's people that are in different industries to me. And so I have a partner who does digital marketing, you know, so he's like a partner firm. So I'm like, okay, well, anyone that wants to do this automation stuff, and he wants to do the back end and the CRMs and all of that, then I refer to him. But we have an affiliate agreement. So anytime I refer to him, I also am able to make income. And then I have another coach that's in a men's coach. So anytime I refer to him, then I also do. So you have people adjacent to you, but I'm clear this is all I do. And then vice versa, it comes back. If you try to be jack of all trades, and it will slow your business down. So you don't want to be, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. We could just do everything. You want to be so clear on what you do and become the expert at that. Otherwise, I've seen, you know, one of my clients that was supposed to do meditation ended up doing grant writing, and then went and did other things. I can't remember what she was doing. She was writing people's resumes. She was all over it because she just wanted to make money. But if it is really own your domain, there is something you're really, really good at. And there's a reason that you're even here on this call, and that you're wanting to get that part of your business going. There's a reason you're doing that and not something else. So don't become a jack of all trades. Just get smart and have those people adjacent to you become partners and have partnership agreements with them. Have sales goals. There is nothing wrong with sales goals, but make them your quality assurance. So, you know, you have sales goals each month. I highly recommend them. Any goals are really important. You know, at some level, this is totally made up. I'm sure some of you will resonate with it. But at some level, I think the universe conspires to give you everything. So I do believe that when you say, you know, I'm going to have this, but you go to work on being humanity-led, having that experience be created, you don't need to worry about the numbers. The numbers actually reflect how much you created that experience, how much you solved that problem, how much opportunity you gave to people. Okay, so the more sales you make, the more you've listened, heard, and understood and provided opportunities to others. You'll know because you'll be super fulfilled. You'll feel fulfilled and satisfied when you do make the money. Sales are then a representation of your integrity to your values. So there is nothing wrong with having sales goals. Hopefully that makes sense as well. So that concludes humanity-led sales on social media. I just want to check if there are any questions, and I'm going to go through that exercise to really draw out authenticity in your posts. So does anyone have any questions just before I do move on? Or any comments?
You can use reactions to wave. Yeah, Barbara, please unmute yourself and fire away.
Really just an analogy that popped into my mind when you were talking about the shop front and, hi, do you want to buy my stuff? It became a joke with myself and my husband when we were traveling in places, you know, they often in very touristy places, there's people employed to be outside restaurants going, come in, or outside shops. It was a joke that I couldn't get any dinner because I wouldn't go into it. I'd kind of was chased away by all these people going, come here, eat here, eat here. I could only get to eat if I was given a bit of space to look over the menu and not feel pressured. And then that would be the place I'd like you to go into.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Unless we're given space, we don't really want to make a decision. Absolutely.
Great
That's
example.
Great. Yeah.
Who else would like to raise a hand and unmute and ask Jess a question?
Well, yeah.
Those social media gremlins that we have.
And you can say anything, even if it's not great. I'll see and hear and listen to you anyway.
All stunned into silence. So
that's fine.
Everyone's perfectly happy with their social media experience.
Rana here.
Yeah.
He said he'd volunteer for this exercise. I don't know if Rana, I'm thinking Rana is, I know I have a guy friend called Rana, so let me just check. Where is Rana? Oh, it is Rana, okay.
Yes.
Great. And he also said he has no idea what I'm going to do. Okay. Okay, good. I like courage. So what, if there are any other questions, you can put them in there and I can absolutely answer them. This is an exercise that will help you stand out. And it is successful. It doesn't matter the exercise itself. It doesn't matter how many times you do it. I still do it myself. You've got to get 10 layers deep. We are surface level. We are surviving. We're trying to fit in, look good. We're all a part of this. It's a part of being human. So we got to get 10 layers deep. So we're going to go deep, Rana. Is that okay with you?
Fine.
Okay, cool. Let me just bring up the tool. It's called the Authentic Posting Tool. Okay. So anyone can do this. So you could do this for yourself as I go through this with Rana. You could actually start to write this down for yourself. It is going to, like, Rana, you're going to be doing the work with me. It is going to be the most challenging for him, particularly with everyone watching. But when you're on your own, you get to kind of think about that and be super real and raw about it. But for this part, we're going to pretend. Let's pretend, Rana. Let me see. Want to bring you up. Where are you? I'm just going to pin you so I can see you. Okay. All right. And then I'll move you out of the way. Okay, so it's called Authentic Posting Tool, or TENS formula. So to make it simple, you want to ask yourself some questions 10 times to go 10 layers deep. Okay, so it starts with any topic. So this is just an example of the last person I did this with. So Rana, pick a topic that you love talking about, any topic.
I love talking about change.
Change, okay. And how come change is important?
Because I've been through a pretty radical change of my life, and 3 years, nearly 3 years on, it still surprises me. It's still weird.
And what was weird about it?
I can't believe it happened.
What happened?
It just happened to me, but I can't believe it's happened anyway. It's still weird.
Yeah. Could you give me a sense of what happened?
Lost a load of weight, got a lot fitter, and stuck with it. Surprised I got lost weight, surprised I got fitter, and really surprised I've stuck with it. Yeah.
Okay. And how come that's important to you?
So I'm kind of lying to you, because it's not really the outside stuff that was the important stuff. It's nice. I get to wear nicer clothes and, feel better about myself and so on. But it's the stuff that it did inside that really changed. And that's why it's so important. I used to always hide myself away. Used to really hide myself away, and I don't do that anymore. Yeah.
And how come that's important to you?
It's about time, I guess. I'm an old geezer, and I figure it's about time to be me rather than hide myself. It's great as well.
Yeah. What's great about it?
I get up and I'm glad to be getting up in the mornings. People treat me differently. I feel differently about myself. My biggest illustration is we have a mirror at the top of the landing, at the top of the stairs in the upstairs landing in our house. And I used to hate looking in that mirror. And now I'm like a poser boy. I love looking in the mirror. Not that I'm kind of big-headed, whatever. It's just every time I see myself in there, it amazes me. And it makes me feel good. Do you want me to carry on talking, or am I waiting for you to type?
No, you're fine. You can. You absolutely can. But tell me why it's important to you now to share that with others. I feel free. I feel liberated. I feel alive and liberated. And I want other people to know how it feels. It really is just amazing. It's just inexpressibly wonderful. I'm more confident. I'm more assertive. I'm really a lot more at ease with myself. And I've got to tell you, this is despite the fact in the last 12 months, I haven't worked, really. It's been a terrible, terrible year on that side. But despite all of that, I feel great, because inside me, there's so much more hope and happiness. And if I could bottle it and sell it to you, I would. Yeah. Now tell me, if no one was listening, let's just pretend no one's listening.
Yeah, no one is.
No one's listening. And you were unbridled, uncensored, unleashed. What do you really want to say about what your life was like before this shift?
It's suffocating.
And what do you want to say about that?
I'm a coach, right? I've been a coach now for a while, and I believe no, we can say that we believe in living to your potential and doing living the life that you want and living authentically. We talk about that a lot. But a lot of us, and I'm not just talking about coaches, but I'm talking about people generally, a lot of us still don't allow that to happen in our lives. We settle for what's given to us. We settle for what's easy, and we settle for what we can get away with without really threatening our real, true selves. And I just feel free of all of that.
What was that last thing you said?
And I just feel free of all of that.
And why is it important? Why is it now important that you share this with others?
I'm an old geezer. I wasted a lot of years. I don't want other people to have to waste their years.
What do you really want to say about people wasting their years?
I've started watching this. I love 1950s music, and I've started watching these music mixes on YouTube from 1950s songs, and I look at them, and I see people. They're black and white recordings of people dancing and so on. And I look at them, and I look at all these people who are dead. They'll all be dead now because they're adults, and most likely they're all gone. And I look at all the potential there was in all of that life, and now that's gone. And if I look at my own self and I think, if I hadn't changed, if I hadn't had a change, a transformation in my life, I could have had another 20, 30, 40 years, maybe, I don't know, and still not have lived my true life. I could be like one of those black and white clips where it was all that, but then what really happened in my life? Did I really live my true, real self ever? And it would have been sad if I didn't. What a waste.
Beautiful. Now, we're still around 5 layers.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to take this down into like the deep, deep. So essentially the deeper you go, the more you stand out. That's probably the best ratio. And it really takes concerted effort to go deep. Mm. Now, the word that stands out for me is suffocating. So there's the word suffocating. Underneath it, there's this human expression that I call, it's like a roar. It's like I call the roar. It's RAW/ROAR.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you really want to say? Like, if no one is watching, if you were in the mirror and you were like looking at these people suffocating and you said it and everyone listened, what is it you really want to say about that?
When I was a kid, I don't want to say this. Let's imagine there was a person who, when they were a child, every time they said they wanted to do this, they were slapped and told, no, you've got to do that. After several times of that happening, you learn to shut your mouth and just put up with what you're told. And it feels, it feels to me that a lot of us in the world let the world around us, people, circumstances, governments, employers, whatever, tell us, give us virtual slaps to keep us in line, to settle for what we're told is good for us, instead of following our own heart, following our own sense of what we're worth. And it's great when you realize you don't have to. And it's even greater when you realize that you can make the change. The reason I like looking in the mirror now is because I know I did it. I coached myself through changing. I came up with a plan to make the change. I came up with the steps I would take. I'm the one who found the determination. I'm the one who kept myself in line. I'm the one who got up in the mornings when it was cold and went out to run. I'm the one who learned to eat differently. I'm the one who said, no, I love chocolate, I love cakes, I love whatever, no more. I'm the one who did all of that, and I'm proud. But if I really, trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. Sorry, I've gone off track.
No, you did not. That was beautiful. That was perfect. So, and as you can see, you know, people are saying very inspirational. Thank you for sharing it. Beautiful, very powerful.
Yeah.
Right, because the what's really authentic is what's hidden in and underneath all of the why I'm a coach. And it's what people are craving to hear from you. So I'm just going to read this back to you. This is your post. You know, firstly, this would be the headline. Headlines are important. I'm kind of lying to you, ... That would have people look and go, what's this? Rana's lying? Because it's authentic. Putting something like that on social media is risky, you know, and you'd start by, I'm a coach, and we say we believe in living our potential, but a lot of us still don't allow that to happen in our lives. We settle for what is easy. And I just feel free of all that now. I feel liberated. I feel alive. It's really amazing. It's inexpressibly amazing. Even though the last 12 months I haven't worked, it's been hard times. Inside is more hope and happiness than ever before. When I was a kid, every time I said I wanted to do something, I was slapped. And it seemed to me that there's a lot of people, just like when I was a kid, governments, employers, giving us virtual slaps instead of allowing us to follow our own sense of what we're worth. It's great when you realize, it was great when I realized I don't have to listen to that anymore, but it was even greater when I realized I could do it. I'm the one who said no. I ran. I'm the one who did all those things, and I'm proud. I don't want people to waste their years. I love 1950s music, and I've been watching these songs, and I look at them, and I look at those people that are now most likely dead, and I look at the potential, and now it's gone. And if I hadn't had this change, I could have been just like someone in those clips. I would have never really lived. It's nice to have good outside, but it's the stuff inside that's changed. I used to really hide myself, and now I don't do that anymore. It's about time. I'm an old geezer. It's about time I be myself. I get up and I'm glad to get up in the mornings. And then you can add something in there. But that is what people are craving to hear. That's beautiful.
But that's just because it's you and me, no one else.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, no one's listening, but it's beautiful. And so I'm sure I can speak on behalf of everyone and say, you know, it's very moving what you've got to say. And it's you're just one of many people that's on here right now. Everyone's got that to say. Everyone has got their version of what you just demonstrated. You know, that's what is possible on social media if we allow ourselves to share that authentically. And if the world was full of that on social media, I think we would see a different kind of world.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But thank you.
No, thank you.
Well, that was all you. I just wrote it down.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable though.
It was.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable.
It is. And I'm sure you know yourself, it's those moments of uncomfortability that cause that growth and that breakthrough, and really the edginess is what has things shift and will have your clients like gravitate towards you.
Yeah, I'm still twitchy now about it. So,
well,
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for sharing that. It was absolutely, absolutely beautiful. You don't have to go and put that up. You don't. I mean, you can. I can send it to you if you like.
Thank you. That'd be good.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely, absolutely beautiful. And thank you for doing that work with me. You know, Dawn, if we did see that on social media, the media in general would have to start reflecting. Exactly. Yeah. Push up the perfectionism. Give up pushing the perfectionism. Yeah, absolutely. And there are people around doing it and it's really working. So I'm not giving you anything that doesn't work. But yeah. Is there anything else anyone would like to say? Any questions or anything you would like to say, Rana?
No, apologies if I've hogged the space from someone else that really wanted to do it. That's all.
No, there was just one person. Thank you for putting your hand up. What a beautiful story. Thanks for being a coach and going out there and sharing this with people. It's incredible. Yeah. But if there is any other questions. Oh, good, Wendy. You made me change my idea about social media. That's right. That's what I'm here for. Everyone hates social media and then they do that exercise and then they seem to like it again. But yeah, it's the typical social media is definitely not something that's easy to be with. I do get that. It's a great opportunity for coaches. So yeah, but otherwise, just to wrap up, thank you again, Rana. Thank you, everyone that experienced that. If you do have any questions or if you do want to reach out to me, I'm on social media, interestingly. I'll just bring that up. I just got that. I am there. Human Business Co, but the real Jess Clair. You can find me personally if you want to reach out to me. And even if you want to get access to this tool, I don't know if I can send this to everyone. Dawn would be happy to, or you can email me and I can absolutely send that to you. Yeah, but would love to speak to you. If there are no other questions, yeah, can absolutely send to you. Thanks, guys. You're so welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that was an absolute pleasure. And it's funny how I've come sort of full circle. You know, before everybody came on the call, I said, oh, isn't social media just a necessary evil? And now we can see how it can be a force for good by being real and authentic. And Rana, thank you. That was a very sort of wow type conversion and shift in my perception of how we can use social media to connect. Really connect with the people who want to be connected with. Let's face it, as coaches, they want to hear from us, and they're trying to work out who is the best one for them. And of course, as we always say, be properly trained, be insured if your country offers insurance, become professionally accredited, and have a signature program or a book. All of these things are differentiators. But when we're inviting people into our living room, which is completely made me rethink about social media etiquette and how I, you know, will use people's message. We're putting ourselves out there, we're being honest, and we're being raw. And that's what people like. That's why sales will never be something that's automated, because it's person heart led. And that's the same as coaching. People want to know what you're really like before they make that decision to hire you. So thank you, Jess,
100%.
for giving us a different, or certainly me, giving me a different perspective of how to use social media in a way that's much more productive, and it creates a win-win. It's not just a platform for saying buy me, use me, and all of that, which people don't like anyway.
No.
It's a platform. It's a bit like a pen letter, really. You know, you can write stuff and put it out there and see who responds. So thank you,
absolutely.
everybody. Before we leave, as usual, we're going to do our 60-second CPD exercise, because we know what gets measured gets done, and we don't want to leave our CPD notes until the end of the week. So please do share in your chat box or on your CPD form. What are some of the key learnings you've taken away from Jess's masterclass today? And I'll give you 60 seconds starting now. Okay. So unless anybody has anything else to add, we'll let Jess get off for the rest of her day, and I will see everybody else at 1:30 UK time, when we're going to be meeting Mac Attram, who's going to be sharing some of his millionaire business success secrets with us. So enjoy your break, and I'll see you all again at lunchtime. And thank you very much, Jess. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thanks for your lovely comments. All right, take care. Thanks, Rana. See you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.